What if I told you in some cases that renting can actually make you more money than buying? By the end of this video, you'll see the math breaking down how renting could build more wealth for you. I bet you've heard it before that renting is throwing money away, buying is always better. But let's cover four overlooked reasons why you could come out ahead renting instead of buying. Here are some contradictions to things that you've probably heard. Homeowners build equity, but they do tie up a huge amount of cash. Renters lose money, but they stay flexible and liquid. Homeowners feel secure, but they take on massive hidden costs. And most people never actually calculate the math for which one is a better option for them. Buying used to be more simple, lower prices relative to pay, higher affordability, less risk. But today, home prices have outpaced income, forcing bigger down payments and longer term debt, which quietly changed the whole equation. So, tons of people are still using the old logic in a completely different market. Here's where it gets interesting. The first reason renting could be better than buying is there's an opportunity cost when buying. Let's say you buy a home and put $60,000 down. That money's now locked in. But if you instead had invested it at an average 8% return annually, that's roughly $600,000 after 30 years. Same money, but different outcome. And most people never even consider that trade off. Let's look at the next reason. Let's go further and look at the impact of investing the difference in rent versus mortgage every month. Say owning costs $2,500 a month and renting costs $1,800 a month. That's a $700 difference every month. If a renter invests that monthly, that grows to about $1 million over time. Here's the interesting thing, too, in the scenario outlined above, that wealth doesn't come from equity or property. It's just the difference in rent versus mortgage payments invested consistently over time. Owning isn't just the mortgage payment, there are lots of extra costs as well with buying versus renting, and that's the next reason. Let's say you buy a $400,000 home. With even maintenance estimates at just 2% per year, that's going to be about $8,000 a year for maintenance. That breaks down to about $667 a month. And that money, it doesn't build wealth, it just keeps the house running. The next reason is looking at the difference in growth when comparing appreciation versus investing. Homes typically grow around 4% annually. So that $400,000 home becomes about $1.3 million dollars in 30 years. That sounds great, right? But compared to investing, it can be similar or even lower. The stock market has averaged between 7 to 10% annually over time. And investing gives you something very different that housing doesn't: flexibility. So, is renting better? Not always. It does depend. But it's not always worse either. It's just a different strategy. Renting can work better depending on your market and if you invest the difference. Stay consistent and think long term. The real mistake, though, would be never running the numbers at all. Your financial habits aren't random, they're shaped by what feels normal. Buying can feel like success, especially if you've heard advice from others to do so, and renting can feel like slowly falling behind. But math is math, and it's not always a black and white, easy decision. It's important to run the numbers if you're deciding, as it allows you to see things differently and look at the whole picture. I'm curious to hear from you. Do you prefer renting or buying, and why? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you want more videos that break down money using psychology and math, consider subscribing.